Eat what you want, but Into the Radius is one of the best games for eating. Gosh, I was hungry too. Here. This video isn't about me eating in Into the Radius. My videos are about smoking in Into the Radius. No. It's neither. This is a catwalk review, part 2 of my catwalk reviews, in fact. Now, if you remember the first one, I had basically nothing good to say about the catwalk. And until recently, that's definitely been true. And I mean very recently, this Friday. Catwalk did a couple of things recently that really did change this game for me entirely. This game being having a catwalk, not Into the Radius. Into the Radius has always been awesome. But specifically, they did 2 things. Sprint based on your speed. Now this could take a little bit of fiddling to get just right, but I think I've got it all right here. And then second, you can now seamlessly switch between walking and your joystick. There used to be this aggravating delay that screwed that up. Oh, this is fixed now. Those 2 things together are what the Catwalk C2 really needed to actually become good as a fun peripheral. Before it was just too much trouble. You ran into too many limitations and too many problems with just actually trying to get by. Well, those are gone now. But I'm going to walk this way, and then I'm going to sprint. And you'll see that the game properly recognizes that I'm sprinting as my speed increases, and it just works perfectly. So check it out. Walk in. I'm just walking. Now I'm running. My crap, was that always that creepy looking? Yeah, probably was, wasn't it? But that's important because in Into the Radius, running will drain your stamina. You can do it a little bit, but if you do it all the time, you're going to be eating like a pig. You don't want to do that, so you want to see if you're sprinting, or when it's really necessary. So that's a huge thing in itself. I'm sure you can see why, because having to fumble around with your controller when you really need to be running is very hard. It was damn near impossible, and it was extremely finicky, and I hated it. I did not consider it usable, and I didn't see how anyone ever did. Honestly, it was garbage. But that's fixed now. And if it's fixed, that's huge. But this is the even bigger one. Is now we can transition between walking, and if we can switch to our joystick controls if we need to, and it'll be instant and seamless there and back. So I'm walking. Now, a big challenge with these things is hover. Because here, let's say I'm using this building, and there's a bad guy over there, okay? So I'm over here. Now, you can move sort of in and out of the cover, but it's awkward, okay? You really have to... Yeah, so now it was always been a huge issue. You know, and it's slow. It's gonna get you killed. There's just no way. It's actually not so bad for if you're making adjustments while you're, say, running somewhere. So if you want to, like, run somewhere, and then you want to sidestep while you're running, it's actually pretty good. You saw that was surprisingly mobile for somebody of my age, which is in my prime. Now, our mysterious missing bad guys over there, if we were doing this thing, oh, it would be so hard because we're out, but now we have to get back in and just, you sort of have to shuffle your foot back and forth. It is slow, it is awkward, it is imprecise. On the other hand, if we're using our joysticks, there we are. no problem, right? This is what normal gamers have never even realized that strafing is an issue in and out of cover. But if you're using a catwalk, getting in and out of cover, it's a serious issue. But it's seamless. So I can be walking forward, and then I can move my joystick around to do whatever I want, and I'm still walking, and you'll pick right back up. So if I need to move this way a little bit, totally fine. If I need to move backwards, I can do that. And it's instant, as you can see. Let me just really make sure to show this off by doing something absurd you wouldn't actually do. I'm walking forward, and then I'm going to push back on the joystick. I'm walking forward and back while I'm still walking forward. Let go, and I move right forward again. Back. I let go, and I'm forward again. So the joystick can take precedence over it. That's the big deal. That is huge. There's some configurability with this. Like you can make it so your walking takes primary, which is sort of how it was before with the delays. But I think this is the right way to do it. And this just gives you back that control you lost by moving to the catwalk. It's a big deal, and it really opens up a lot of games that would just be impossible to play otherwise. Into the Raiders was a pain in the ass. I hated it on the catwalk because of the sprint problem. I either had to just always sprint or fuddle around with trying to get the button to activate nicely. Hard to do if you're really running. Like I'm pumping my arms. I'm actually running. It's just tricky to concentrate on pulling down a button. It's unimmersive and shitty. Problem gone. Now I can actually run. Now I have the more precise and honestly less realistic video game joystick controls still available should I want them and need them. This is really useful, especially if you have to backpedal suddenly. Sometimes I'm good at it, but once in a while I do fumble it. It's really nice to have this stick to fall back on. And of course, just moving in and out of cover with the joystick is so much better. You can do it, and you really could not do it without this feature before. It's huge. And I gotta tell you, the fact is, the Catwalk C2 Plus in my case was the biggest, most expensive disappointment I've ever had in terms of gaming. It was horrible. I did not enjoy it at all. I just found it frustrating and shitty. I didn't find it helped with my immersion, which is why I got it. I want to really be here. I want to really be in the radius. I want to really be in after the fall, And there were too many control issues, too many gotchas when I first got the Catwalk that I just hated it. I hated it, and the more I used it, it didn't get better. But just a couple of days ago, with the release of 2.2, which added the automatic sprint on speed, and 2.2.1, swear I heard that open. I'm just going insane. With 2.2.1, allowing you to switch seamlessly back and forth between walking controls and joystick controls without that weird controller delay there used to be. That controller delay was impossible to put up with, right? It really was. It would just get you killed. Now that that's gone, this has really transformed the Catwalk into an expensive, useless gadget. To me, what I thought was an expensive, useless gadget, to something that is legitimately fun now. This is legitimately fun. I'm happy to get into this thing because I'm not missing out on experiences. I still have all the controls I need. I have more immersion now that I can sprint seamlessly. This is such a big deal. I cannot stress it enough. Those two changes were huge. Huge. I have to say, I am now officially 100% on board with the Catwalk. I still think its price alone means it's a niche item. There's a lot of caveats about it. It is extremely expensive. It is huge. It is awkward. It is difficult to move around. All that stuff is still true. But when you're using the device, now it's actually fun. That's the big thing. You can put up with a lot of problems just related to its physical size, It is still pretty heavy on the back if you're somebody who isn't quite strong, but it's the price of admission. And now that we have these other features, these other problems fixed, I say it's worth that price of admission. I'm fine paying for the couple of disadvantages that this thing still has that really are just part of the nature of the device itself and not something that you could really engineer around very well, at least not in a way I could think of. I mean, it has to be heavy, it has to be bulky, because you're going to be throwing your whole body weight around, and it has to put up with it. It has to perfectly accept all that movement and motion. Of course, it's going to be bulky. Before, this stuff was really intolerable because I wasn't getting a good experience anyway. So I was putting up with having things in my living room that were challenging to move, a bunch of obnoxious bulk. All that is still there, but if I really need to, I can always just go back to my sticks. I can always recover that lost agility by just going back to my sticks if I need to. And then when I want to walk around and be immersive, unless it's like a really tough, challenging battle or something where the controls just aren't great, like moving side to side, right? I'd always prefer to walk around. That's the point. That's where the immersion comes in, right? Now you're getting that with very few compromises. I gotta tell you, it's looking pretty damn good for the catwalk. I've been using it a whole bunch since that update came out. Yeah, now there's very few compromises to get the fun immersion part of the Catwalk C2. I gotta tell you, I'm loving it. I'm having fun in this device. I'm excited to get in it. I've been using it all weekend. I've been loving it. I've been trying a whole bunch of different games. It's been awesome in just about all of them. I gotta say, Catwalk C2 and C2 Plus, if you've got the cheddar and you can, then I think, yeah, if you're a super hardcore VR nerd who wants that last level of immersion, then you know what? Yeah, go for it. I think you're gonna like the C2 now. And I'm telling you, I do. They fixed my two biggest issues, and now I am a happy customer. I am a happy camper. So there you go. Cat VR. You guys did good. It took you a while. I'm gonna say that, but I'm not gonna give you a hard time about it because you got there in the end, and the results are awesome. There's a few minor imperfections to this still. Some games don't quite work right, but most of them do. And it's such a massive step up. You can always just fall back to your joystick controls if you need to. So there you go. Very cool, very fun. And I'm very excited to do more catwalk stuff now that this device is usable. I have no idea what direction I'm facing. So lads, lovelies, everyone in between, this is meant to be a short video, so thanks for stopping by. Love you, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.